Welcome to All This Math. This is Professor Parker, and right about now, we're about to get into some percent calculation problems. So I have 3 problems up here, which represent 3 different ways or 3 different situations in which you will have to find a different piece of information based upon this is over of equals percent over 100 formula. And this is basically the formula that we're going to use every time we do a percent calculation problem. And first thing, before we even start doing math, before we even start thinking about math, is we need to actually read the questions and understand what they mean. Because before we can do math, we got to know how to read. We can't do math without reading comprehension. That's why a lot of people are real weak at word problems. Word problems oftentimes not even an issue of math, it's an issue of reading. Because you could do the math, but you couldn't read the problem and understand how to take the numbers out of the problem and throw them into the formula and then proceed and finish the problem. So we want to make sure we understand what the question is actually saying and what the numbers mean, and then where the numbers from the question are going to go when we put them into the formula. So, number 1 says, what percent of 126 is 22? So what percent is that? What percent out of 126 is 22? So if you got 22 out of 126, so 22 of something out of a whole amount of 126, like let's say it's 126 people somewhere, and 22 of them got on black shoes, right? So we want to know what percentage that. What percentage of the people got on black shoes? It's 126 people all together, and 22 of them got on black shoes. So what percentage does that represent? Right? Now, this formula right here is your friend. This formula is very helpful. This formula will help you to answer these types of questions, right? So what you want to do is, this word is, you want to look for what I call an is number. This word of, you want to look for the of number. The percent symbol is where the percentage goes. Sometimes you will know the percentage, sometimes you will not know the percentage. But let's read the problem again to see what we know. This says, what percent? So that means we don't know the percent because we're looking for the percent. So what percent, right? So this right here is going to be a variable. Then it says of 126. So because of is connected to 126, 126 is going to be what I call my of number. So that's going to go in this denominator of this fraction. And then we have is 22. Is 22. All right. So now I'm going to write my formula, right? Well, I'm going to use my formula and write my expression. All right. Write my equation rather. So what percent of 126 is 22? So I replace the word is with the number 22. So I got 22. I replace the word of with the number 126 because of is connected to 126. I write my equal sign. My percent is my unknown. So I can call that a variable. Let's just call it X. And this 100 right here is always going to be right there. That's always part of the formula. This 100 is never going to change. Now, once I have this proportion set up, I cross multiply and I divide. It's really only 2 more steps for real. I cross multiply, diagonal, and diagonal. $22 times 100. I can put that on the left side. Well, let me write my equal sign, right? I can put this product on my left side or the right side. Right now, we're using something called the cross product property. The cross product property, right? So let's say I put this on the left side. I got 2200. 22 times 100 is 2200. So I put that on one side. On the other side, I put the product of these two. 126 times x. That's 126x. So I cross multiply. Now the next step is just to divide. What am I dividing though? Am I going to divide by 2200? No. I'm going to divide by 126. Why? Why am I dividing by 126? I'm dividing by 126 because I'm trying to get x by itself. I'm trying to get x by itself. And if I divide by 126, then that's going to mean I'm going to have this. They cancel out because every time you divide something by itself, that always equals 1, no matter what the numbers are. Whenever you divide something by itself, that always is going to equal 1. So this becomes 1 times x, which is x. So now I got X by itself. So I got to also do that on this side to figure out what my answer is. So then you grab your calculator, because you don't want to be sitting up here doing long division on your paper, because we don't really have time for that at this level. You know, we should know how to do long division, but right now, in the interest of time and efficiency, we should know how to also use calculators, right? So 2200 divided by 126 equals 17.46031746. All right, so, and we can like round off to maybe the 10th place or one decimal place. So 17.46 is going to become 17.5. Since that 6 makes the 4 bump up and become a 5, right? So that's the answer, 17.5%. So that means that 17.5% of 126 is 22. So like I said, if you got 126 people in a group and 22 of those people have on black shoes, then that means that 17.5% of those people have on black shoes, because a percentage is just a way to represent a group or an amount out of a larger amount as a fraction, right? Because percentages and fractions are really the same thing. All right, so that's how you do number one. Okay, now let me erase this, and we look at number two. 81 is 56% of what? So let's say we got 81 people, and we know that that's 56% of some amount, right? So 81 people do a certain thing out of a larger amount of people, okay? So you know 81 of them do a certain thing, and you also know that 81 represents 56% of that whole group, and the whole group is 100%, right? But we want to know how many people are in that whole group. So that's why it says of what. So we know of what, so the of number is unknown. So now in this problem, of is going to be our X, because we don't know of. Of what? We don't know. So when you don't know something in algebra or in math, you use algebra, you call it a variable. We call it X. That's what we're going to do, right? Now, we got 56%. 56 is going to go in the place of the percent sign. And this says 81 is, right? Now, you might be a little confused and wondering, like, but how do I know that 81 is the is number and not 56%? Well, 56% is not going to be the is number, because the percent is always the percent number. The actual percent is always the percent number. Just like right here. This said what percent of 126. The percent wasn't going to be the of number. The percent is the percent. Of goes with 126. Just like here, 81 goes with is. So 81 is is. So I replaced the word is with the number 81. So I got 81. The of number, I don't know. So I call that X. Equal sign, the percentage, I do know, 56%. So you put 56 right there, and the 100 is always there. The 100 never goes nowhere, right? So now, we cross multiply, set that up, all right? Now, write your equal sign. X times 56, you don't write X 56. You write the number first and the variable second. So that's going to be 56X. So we got 56X, right? That's 56X. Now, cross multiplying the other diagonal, 81 times 100, that's going to be 8100. So now we got 56X equals 8100. 56X equals 8100. Now the next step is to just divide. And again, we divide by the number that is next to the X, or whatever variable you chose to use. So I divide by 56. I don't divide by 8100. I divide by 56. Boom, boom. X equals, and let me grab my calculator again. So now I got 8100 divided by 56, which equals 144.64. So if we're talking about people, we're not going to have like a decimal or a fraction of a person. So we're going to round that up. If I got 144.6, that's what this says, 144.64, I'm going to just round that up to 145. Right? I'm going to round it up to 145. So in this situation, 81 is 56% of 145. All right? So that means that 81 people out of 145 people is the same thing as 56%. All right. So we did a problem where the percentage was unknown. We did a problem where the of number was unknown. Now we're about to do a problem where the is number is unknown. All right. And if you happen to be doing some homework or some practice work that involves these types of problems, now you know how to do each of the problems. You know how to do each type of problem. So now when you're doing that worksheet, you can just look at these examples on this video right here, and you can stop, you can pause, you can rewind and say, okay, well, how do I do this problem? What's my is number? What's my of number? What's my percentage? Do I know my percentage? Do I know my is number? Do I know my of number? That tells you where to put the numbers. Once you put the numbers in the right place, then all you got to do, cross multiply and then divide by the number that's next to x, and you'll be done. That's all you got to do. All right. Now, number 3, we know 30%. We know of 117, and it says is what? So 30% of 117 is what? So 30% out of 117. So let's say you got 117 of something. Let's say you got $117, and you want to save 30% of those dollars. You want to put 30% of those dollars into a savings account. Is what? That's how you figure out how much actual money that is. The percentage is cool, and the percentage should inform you as to how much actual money that is. All right? So now, plug your numbers in. This formula is your friend. This formula is very helpful. But your responsibility is to know where to put the numbers at. So what is my is number? Is unknown because it says is what? So replace the word is with x. What's my of number? It says of 117. Replace the word of with 117. Write your equal sign. What's the percentage? 30. Replace the percent symbol with a number 30. 100 is always there. The number 100 is always under the percent symbol. All right. So now I got my equation set up, but I want to get rid of the fractions. So I want to get rid of the fractions, so I use the cross product property. So like I did in the other 2 examples, I cross multiply. X times 100, that's 100x. Bring the equal sign down, 117 times 30. Grab my calculator for this joint. So 117 times 30, 3,510. Now, I want to get x by itself. So in order to get x by itself, I need to do my division. In order to get x by itself, I got to do my division. So I'm going to divide by 100. I'm not dividing by 3510 because I'm trying to get x by itself. Divide that. And I don't even need a calculator for this because whenever you divide by 100, all you're really doing is moving the decimal point 2 spaces to the left. That's all you're really doing. So, and you might be saying, well, where's the decimal point in 3,510? That's a valid question. The decimal point is invisible. It's at the end of the number. If the decimal point is ever not written, that means it's invisible and it's at the end of the number. Now, I just wrote it right there. So now, in order to divide by 100, that's the same thing as me doing like this. 1, 2. So that becomes 35.1. And if you don't believe me, grab a calculator, type in 3510 or 3,510, hit the division button, and then type in 100. See what you get. All right. Now, so x is 35.1. So that means that 30% of 117 is 35.1. Right? So what that means is that if you had $117 and you wanted to put 30% of that into savings, then you would take 35.1, but you want to make it sound like money. So imagine there's a 0 added on right there. You would take $35.10 and you would put that in savings. That's how you would do that. So this is how we calculate percentages. I gave you 3 different examples where you had to find 3 different types of information or 3 different pieces of information. And I want to make sure that you know how to use this formula. This is I call this the percentage proportion formula. Percentage proportion formula. Yeah. That's a good name for it. I like that. Percentage, proportion, formula. Yeah. So you know how to use make sure you know how to use the percentage proportion formula. Make sure you know what your is number is, what your of number is, and what your percentage is. Or if any of those amounts are unknown, make sure you put the variable X or whatever variable you want to use in the right place. All right. Now, if you like the video, please like the video. Please subscribe to the channel. Please share the video with some people. Please tell some other people to subscribe. And always remember, as usual, that there's all this math all around you.